Hi, bestie, fam, friend, whoever you are on the other side of this phone screen. Welcome back. This episode's gonna be a little bit different because I want to share a story from this morning for my breath work, and I also want to guide you through some breath work today, so if you feel called to, stick around. I have been doing breath work on and off for the last probably year and a half. I found it to be really beneficial along my healing journey, and it's something that I started back in, we'll say 2020, 2021 was when breathwork first found me. And I will say the first time that I ever did it, I was not as trauma informed as I am now, and scared the living shit out of myself. And so I will say we're just gonna do some gentle breath work today. We're not gonna go blasting off into the ethers, but I will say that breath work has changed my life in more ways than one. And I'm really, really grateful that I committed to doing breath work every single day for, gosh, I probably did it for like 6 to 9 months straight last year. And it was a game changer for my healing journey. It brings up a lot, but it's all things that we are eventually gonna get to. It just kind of brings it up in a better way, I guess. Obviously our breath is our life force energy, and so if we're not connected to our breath, we're likely not connected to our life force. And our breath is also the one thing that can bring us back into our physical meat suit that we're sitting here in. And I will say that the first time I did breath work, it blasted me off. I had tingling and tetany, which is where your hands might go claw-like, which is all normal things as our body is releasing emotions and trauma from our cells and our DNA and our physical meat suit structure, if you will, right? Because our body holds so much emotions and trauma and memory and things like that. And so, again, I was not as informed back then as I was now. I did it once. I didn't do it again. I didn't touch breathwork again for a year. And then I did it again, and the same thing happened, and I was like, nope, my nervous system couldn't handle it. And so I strayed away from breathwork again and didn't do it again for a while. And then once I started leaning back into it and just saying, okay, what if I just do grounded breathing techniques rather than blasting myself off and doing DMT release and all these things, right? There's so many different types of breathwork that you can do, and it's important to maybe not do a somatic breathwork as your first one. Maybe do some grounded breathwork to really like feel into it first. I've done many somatic breathwork sessions now, and it just feels so good in my body. And yes, I still get the tingling and the tetany and things like that, but it doesn't, my nervous system, obviously, because I've been doing breathwork more regularly, we'll say, or consistent, my body, when things come up, my nervous system is okay to hold that. And I just drop in and I'm like, nope, I'm safe. Like, this just needs to leave. I release it with love and light. And when you can control your mind, right? Because our mind often tries to control us and our story. But when you can control your mind and you don't have to play out to the stories and all the things that might be happening, there's so much benefit that can come from breath work. And it can be simple as like literally taking 5 deep breaths when you wake up in the morning. Like, it doesn't have to be this long drawn out process, although I highly recommend doing somatic breath work, more so for the added benefits of nervous system, regulation and things like that, and just like cleansing and purging from the nervous system. And somatic release obviously like helps to unlock things that might be a little bit deeper below the surface that we might not be able to see. I've done them where I've guided myself. I've done them where others have guided me. I've been in settings where 15 other people are, and there's a lot going on in those moments. So let's see here, this little dog. What are you doing, Papa? Anywho, And so yeah, I wanted to just come on here and share what happened this morning, as I woke up and felt called to do breath work again for the first time in a while. And I know there was a reason why, as I'm going through this transition and meeting deeper pieces of myself and whatnot, and integrating those pieces. Breathwork just really helps me to come back to my body. And not that I had forgotten about it, but I hadn't felt called to do it for a while. And so I will start by saying that when I started doing breathwork consistently, a little over a year ago now, I realized that I couldn't hold my breath. And I realize now that I didn't entirely feel safe in my body to hold my breath. Like, I would drop in, I could hold my breath for, I don't know, 10, 20 seconds, maybe 30 sometimes. And on the rare occasion, I could hold it for a minute. And I was like, why can't I drop further? Like, I have been doing guided breathwork with Breathe with Sandy on YouTube. It's a great starting resource. Same with Breathe with David. And I was like, why can't I get past a minute? Like, why is it I drop in and my mind immediately starts going like, I'm not safe, this isn't safe, you need to take a breath. Like, all the things keep playing out. And so if that's you, just know that that's normal. And the more that you do it, the easier it gets, because you realize that you become safer in your body over time, right? And this is a practice like anything else. It's just a tool. And so this morning was the first time I like actually sat down and did intentional breath work, not just deep breathing on my own. And man, y'all, like, I held my breath for a solid minute and I didn't even think twice about it. My mind didn't start going sideways. I wasn't called to 1,200 other places. I literally just dropped right into my body. And same thing happened. There was 3 rounds, and each time I was able to hold my breath for an extended amount of time that I was never able to hold my breath before. And I dropped so deep in my body that when it was done, I was like, I don't want it to end. Like, I actually don't want to take a deep breath. Like, I want to stay in this state. And once I like paused everything and like really sat with my breath, this beautiful image started opening up. And that's a really cool thing about DMT release is, yes, you can do plant medicine and or frog medicine and all these things, but when you can naturally release DMT and get to a point where you would with other medicines outside of your own, it is wild. And all of a sudden, this like beautiful big gold temple opened up in front of me, and I was like, holy shit. Holy shit, what is this? And I realized that I had dropped so deep into myself. I was like, oh, this is my like inner temple. And I was walking up the stairs, and it was like, do you remember, I think it's like old video games, but like you put your foot on a step and the whole step would like light up and reverberate out? Like, that's what was happening as I was walking up these steps. And I was like, holy shit, this is fucking cool. And I literally messaged a friend after, and I was like, the only thing that would have made that better is if I had light up shoes. My totally like inner child moment. And so I get up to the top of the steps and I walk inside the temple, and there is like, inside the temple is this like beautiful, it almost looked like the inside of the temple was like bejeweled in some sort of way. And there was all these different, like, my inner child loves rainbow anything, and they were like all these different like rainbow colored like jewels all over the inside of the temple. And I was like, holy moly, this is insane. Like, I've never seen anything like this. Now, I've had moments like this where I've gone into deep meditation, or I've gone into really just deep meditation, and that was actually guided by my friend Jessie, who's the one I texted this morning. So shout out, Jessie, if this video ever finds you, thank you. She had guided me through a meditation several years ago, and I popped into what I call Candyland, and it felt like I was on shrooms, and it then felt like we were both on shrooms. And I just now realized, like, over the last year or two, I've been playing with the spirit of the mushroom, and I realized I carry the spirit of the mushroom, which is why that is how my brain works. I don't always have to take mushrooms. Sometimes my world is just feels like I am living on mushrooms. And so, which, by the way, you can work with the spirit of something without actually ingesting it. Fun fact. I can do a whole other video on that, and also pop in comments in the comments if you have questions about that. But yeah, so I had this beautiful heart-opening experience this morning, and I just stood there in the temple and I cried. I was just like, holy shit. I gave myself a big hug, and I was like, man, this is what I miss about doing breath work, is it takes me places that I don't typically go on my day-to-day basis, right? And it just shows me so much. I was like, holy shit, there's so much beauty here. Not beauty that I've necessarily missed, but like it was underneath the surface. And so anyways, that's my little bit on the release of DMT. I could get into all the scientifics and all of that, but I'm not going to for the sake of this video. There's plenty of resources out there if you want to get into it. I highly recommend breathwork. That is the basis of this video, and meditating and just pulling your energy back and coming back home to yourself. Like, I refused meditation and breathwork for so long, and now I find them to be some of the most powerful pieces of my practices. And you don't have to like sit down crisscross applesauce, like that kind of meditation, even just going for a walk and just being mindful without headphones and things like that. Like, there's so many different ways, to meditate that doesn't have to be like the traditional style of meditating like you would do if you went to a Vipassana or anything like that. So yeah, that's my little background. I've had several of these experiences, just like very heart-opening or eye-opening experiences with breathwork, more so with shamanic breathwork or DMT release and things like that. But again, if you're just starting out with breathwork, or you're just starting out on your healing journey, just do grounded breaths. Like, you can do a 4-4-8, which is where you hold your breath, you inhale for 4 seconds, you hold your breath for 4 seconds, you exhale for 8 seconds, and then round it back. There are so many different breathing techniques out there. You can do a 4-4-6, you can do just a 4-6, and inhale and exhale and inhale and exhale. I recommend doing this for at least a minute of your day. Or if you are someone who's super anxious, like, it's a great way to come back into your body and really come back home to yourself. And so just taking, 5 simple breaths, breathe in through your nose, down into your belly, and release. Like, there's so much benefit just from that. And again, it just like comes back to your life force energy. So anyways, with all that being said, as all the things are happening out here, it was 1, 2, 3, 4 on the time. I'm just gonna guide you through some basic breath work today. It's not gonna be anything crazy. We're not gonna go blasting off into the ethers, but I want this to be a space that you can come back to. And obviously you can fast forward 12 and a half minutes in, if you will, to get to this point. And yeah, if you end up doing this and you feel something or just anything, feel free to drop it in the comments. I always love hearing from you guys. I'll probably be doing more videos like this, but I wanted to kind of do like an intro and like my background with breathwork up until now, just because breathwork, like, it's always the things that this is the key, guys. It's always the things that we resist that actually end up being like our most powerful teachers and our most powerful lessons and tools in this life. And I resisted breathwork for so long, and there's always a reason, right? Like, I was scared. And once I got over that fear, which is just our silly little mind trying to control the show, I was like, holy shit, this is actually so beneficial. And I actually love, it's like something I would like get out of bed for every single day. And that I had lost for a long time. Like, I lost the will to like, why am I getting out of bed? And then when I was like, oh, I can get out of bed and do breath work every morning, and like, that feels life-changing. So yeah, and just know that if you get emotional with breath work, that's okay. It's unlocking things within you, and it's not to be afraid of it. It's literally just allowing things to flow, right? Emotions typically only last 60 to 90 seconds at most when we don't attach a story to them. So when we just let the emotion flow through us without attaching to it, it goes so much quicker than when we're like, why am I crying? What's going on? And like trying to find a logical way. When you can just drop in your body, let it flow, it passes so much more quickly. And you don't have to stay in it, right? Like, that's not the point of the experience. It's to allow things to flow, to be in flow. So with all that being said, the best way that I personally like to do breath work is to put one hand on my belly and one hand on my heart. And for the purpose of this video, we're just gonna breathe in through our nose and out through our mouth like you're blowing through a straw. So you're gonna not with the whistle obviously, but if you whistle too, that's fine. Whistle while you twerk. Okay, so we're gonna put one hand on our belly, one hand on our heart. We're just going to inhale for 4 seconds, we're gonna hold for 4 seconds, and we're gonna exhale for 8 seconds. Okay, I'm gonna guide you through it. It's gonna be great. We're just gonna take a few deep breaths. Like I said, I'll probably make more videos like this, but just to start out, let's do a little breathe in here. Ready? Inhale. 2, 3, 4. Hold. 2, 3, 4. Exhale. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Inhale. 2, 3, 4. Hold. 2, 3, 4. Exhale. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Inhale. 2, 3, 4. Hold. 2, 3, 4. Exhale. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We're going to do 2 more. Ready? Inhale. 2, 3, 4. Hold. 2, 3, 4. Exhale. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Last one. Inhale. 2, 3, 4. Hold. 2, 3, 4. Exhale. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And it's like he knew. All right, my friends. We're just gonna take one last big deep breath. Inhale. Hold at the top and exhale. Beautiful. I want you to be able to come back to this practice, but just know that I will be posting more of these on my YouTube channel here, so feel free to stick around, subscribe, feel free to let me know in the comments how you're feeling, and yeah, I hope you have a magical day wherever it takes you. I'm sending you so much love, and I'll see you on the next one.